Welcome back to another YouTube video of FlareFX, where we make trading very simple. And if you're new here, please make sure to click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time I post. In today's video, I'll be breaking down different trade management styles. There will be 3 gems in this one, so watch till the end. Now, before I get started, I just want to break down what these 3 that are on the list on the screen right now. What do they mean? What is a risk to reward, a structural management, or is partial taking, right? So trade management styles are basically the way you approach your trades when you are in profit, right? So let's say you are in profit, maybe you are up maybe $50, $60. Now, managing your trade is very, very important, and it's something that as a beginner trader, even as an intermediate, is something that we get wrong. So in today's video, I'll show you and break down all these 3 and help you understand what each of these mean. Now, as we start off, I just want to start off with the easiest one, the traditional, the risk to reward management style. This is a management style where you as a trader, when you execute a position, your risk to reward ratio is consistently the same. So when you execute a trade, regardless of how much a position could give you, could be a 1:8 or 1:10, but you always target maybe a 1:3, right? So this one is always based on basically the percentage gains or the risk to reward, right? So for example, we take this risk to reward 2. This risk to reward 2 is showing us that is a 1:3, right? So every single time you manage a trade, whether it's in your POI, you always make sure that your risk to reward ratio is a 1:3, right? So your trade would come into this thing and it would purge liquidity, change character, and then come into the POI that you originally marked out, and then price will fly all the way to where? To your take profit for a 1:3. The pros and cons, like these pros and cons to the different types of management styles, and I'll explain them right here, right? Now, the pros and cons of using a risk to reward is that the consistency is easier. It's easy for you to catch those easy TPs. It's easy for you to always gain those, like the consistency, because 1:3 is very, 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 very profitable. But now the downside is that you'll be leaving a lot of upside, So the opportunity to get 1:5, 1:6, an upscale to grow your accounts is most definitely on the table. But for sure, if you push to get a 1:3 each and every single time, the consistency is there. So for a beginner, I really recommend that you try to use the first risk management style, hence why I started with it, because it's the most effective one and it's the most consistent one if you want to see gains and gain that confidence as a trader. Now we move on to the second one. Now, moving on to the second type of management, the structural management. So with these types of people that manage the trade like this, it's people who manage based on the way the price moves, the breaks of structures, support and resistance, flag patterns, breaks of, you get what I mean? So those are the types of things structural management traders look for in order to manage their trades, right? So for example, let's say the trade does move into your favor, taps us in. Immediately when it breaks structure, the structural management traders will be looking for key points like support and resistance areas, right? This is a support zone. Then afterwards, they'll come and put their stop loss just below this area over here. We'll mark it out as a stop loss like this. Clean cut finish. That's a stop loss for them. Price keeps on, breaks structure, comes back to this low, break structure again. And then once this becomes a thing, they move up over here as again. You can see this is a different now structure. You get what I mean? So they manage their trades based on how the market is moving. Is it breaking lows? Is it breaking highs? Is there support? Is there resistance? And they move their stop losses based on those types of those types of movements, right? Now, like the last one, there's pros and then there's cons to these types of situations, right? So with the pros of definitely structural management is that you can hold positions for long term. This is a for structural management, it's very good for long-term trades. Like if you're swinging, this is very good. For higher time frame biases, this is very good because you could swing this for a whole year, just moving off of structure, waiting for price to react off of specific key areas, then moving your stop loss after that happened, right? Now, there's also cons to this management style, right? The con is mainly because of the situation that you never know if price will ever respect specific resistance points and support zones, and if there's any trend reversal, you get what I mean? So you could see yourself giving your profits back to the market just because of the way the management style is. It's very good in trending markets. I would suggest you use this in trending markets, but For this one, for sure, it's definitely for swingers. For people who are intraday traders, it's going to be very complicated as much as it is, especially on the lower time frames, because the support and resistance doesn't really like respect those areas. So looking at it at 4-hour time frames, 1 hour, 1 day time frame, these are the types of management styles you're supposed to be looking for swing trades. And lastly, we have the partial taking management style, right? So with this one, it's basically having three or two different types of take profit zones where you take partials, right? Let's say maybe you open a 50 lot, 0.50, right? And each and every take profit, you take out a specific percentage of what? Of your like your open position, right? So in most cases, for partial taking management styles, or people or traders that take this management style usually use like the highs like this, right? So for example, let's do like this. Price comes into your entry, moves up, so automatically this is take profit one. Take profit one is a place where they automatically like, okay, cool, this is a place where I'll take partials, right? So maybe they'll close 25% of their position and it'll be left with 75% running. Price causes the high, it goes over here and then continues to move high. Then they would classify this, okay, cool, I'll take partials again over here. They close 25% again, then leave 50% of their position all the way to take profit 3, right? So with this type of management style, it's very good for scalpers. It's people who like to stick on the lower time frames, people who like to stick on the 15-minute time frame. Not saying it can't work on the 1 hour time frame, most definitely can, but for scalpers it's very good, especially for those quick minute scalps. And if you want to make sure that you eat right all the way to the take profit and make sure that you're not giving any profits back, right? So now here's the interesting way you can also execute this like a management style, right? It's also implementing once price moves into your favor and hits take profit 1, that's when you initially move your stop loss to break even. So you'll come over here, right? You'll come over here. Let me do it like this, right? And then your stop loss will be literally at break even. You'll put your stop loss right over here at break even once take profit 1 hits, right? And then you let your trade run. Obviously now you're at a risk-free trade. You need to understand that also the chances of the market coming back to your stop loss is very, very possible. But with this management style, it's very nice because immediately once you end the trade and your trade does hit take profit 1, already like this profit, even if it can come back and hit your stop loss, it doesn't really matter. You're going to eat regardless. So for people who are very interested in this way, you could implement this thing. So now the pros is that you're going to always eat if you execute it the right way, right? Some people don't know how to mark out the highs and the lows, so they don't understand which take profits zones they should go for. So it becomes a little bit tricky, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But the pros is that you can definitely eat, and having different types of take profit really eases on your psychology because you understand that I already locked in my position. I'm not risking anything. I just have to let the trade run, right? Now, the downside of this situation is that, like I said, it really doesn't. It's very effective, especially on the lower time frames, but on the higher time frames it's very tricky, especially if you're swinging it. You have to understand that this one is going to take a toll on you emotionally because price chases very, very deeply into your entry. Now you become frustrated because you're seeing the profits go back and go up and go back. The fluctuations really kill some traders, you know what I mean? So out of all the three, it's firstly the risk to reward management style, the structural management style, and the partial taking management styles, right? These are the three that I've found very, very effective for me, right? You could implement all these three together depending on who you are. Please comment down below if you use different types of management styles. Type down what you do, what you look for, what type of entries, because the videos I make are for people that are very new to trading, who want to understand how can I protect my capital, how can I move forward, how can I be consistent, right? For me, the best one I could suggest if you're starting out, it would be definitely the risk to reward situation. Like the risk to reward one is very simple, it's very clean. For consistency, it's the best one. Literally 1:3 is something that you can definitely catch, especially if you have a strategy that has an edge. 1:3 is very, very, very like consistent. It's very manageable. For the other ones, partial taking management and the structural management, as you grow in experience and as you grow as a trader, the partial taking one and the structural one will very, very, very be good if you're very good at your psychology. You get what I mean? So Those are the 3 that I've been finding very consistent in my trading. So if you are new still here, please make sure you subscribe. If you find any value, please comment, please repost, and everything else. Road to 500 subscribers. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. Road to 500. See you in the next video. For now, Mr. Flair is signing out.